Hello, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. Thank you so very much for being a time traveler. This is your new moon in Sagittarius reading. Keep in mind that this is a collective general reading. It is not individualized nor personalized to you. Messages may come through today that do not fully resonate, and if that happens, don't get upset. It just means that one message is meant for someone else watching. So take what fits, how it fits, leave what doesn't, and be sure to check out your other placements. If you don't know what your placements are, in the description box is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. With all of that said, let's begin. Tapping into the Cancerian collective now for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. What is the new moon in Sagittarius message for Cancer? Your oracle card, Spirit of the River, Movement Toward Adventure, card number 50. Which reduces to 5, signifying a change here in the Cancerian collective. Your first moonology card, last quarter moon in Taurus, be proud of yourself. So maybe be proud of yourself for coming through a very challenging time or a very challenging year. And then you have cold moon, face your fears. Yeah, face your fears. Maybe it's time to move forward, Cancer. Tell me more about this here, please, for the Cancerian collective. 6-card spread, please. We are clarifying Spirit of the River, Movement Toward Adventure, card number 50. Last quarter moon in Taurus, be proud of yourself. And cold moon, face your fears. One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the 4 of Swords. We have the 9 of Pentacles. We have the 8 of Wands. You have the 9 of Wands. You have the Knight of Cups. And you have the Page of Cups. Bottom of the deck, you have 3 of Cups. Ace of Pentacles, here's your adventure following a very difficult time here. 10 of Swords, we'll take that as well. The 9 of Swords at the bottom of the deck, that leaves the Knight of Swords here. All right, let's begin to clarify. So movement toward adventure. I feel like the Cancerian collective has been through it this year. Lots of healing, lots of feeling like a wounded warrior. Tell me more about the 4 of Swords here for the Cancerian collective. Why is the 4 of Swords here? One more shuffle. Thank you. And the card that came out was the 10 of Swords, which we saw at the bottom of the other deck. 10 of Swords, Queen of Swords, and the 5 of Wands. Why is the 9 of Swords? I'm sorry, 9 of Wands here for the Cancerian collective? Why is the 9 of Wands here? One more shuffle. Thank you. 9 of Wands is clarified by 6 of Swords, Ace of Swords, and the 8 of Wands. I like that because we have the 8 of Wands here as well. 9 of Pentacles. Be proud of yourself. 9 of Pentacles. Why is the 9 of Pentacles here? One more shuffle. Thank you. 9 of Pentacles is clarified by Queen of Cups, Knight of Wands, which is also at the bottom of that deck, and the Tower. Why is the Knight of Cups here? Why is the Knight of Cups here? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Knight of Cups is clarified by 8 of Swords, the Hierophant, and the 8 of Pentacles. Face your fears. Tell me about that Page of Wands. Why? I'm sorry, 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands. Maybe that's how some of you are feeling right now, like a bit confused. I don't know why I'm feeling that way. 8 of Wands. One more shuffle. Thank you. Maybe after the year you've had or the experiences you've had this year, you don't even know like what direction to go in. So some of you could be feeling a bit lost at this time. 8 of Wands, yep, clarified by the 4 of Cups, Queen of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles, wanting to take action, wanting to take direction, not knowing which way to go, what opportunity to take or make for yourself. Okay, that explains the feeling that I'm having here. And the Page of Cups. Why is the Page of Cups here? Why is the Page of Cups here for face your fears? One more shuffle. Thank you. Page of Cups, clarified by Ace of Wands, the Moon, and the Page of Cups. Again, bottom of the deck, 7 of Wands. So I feel like the Cancerian collective has been through the mill, each for your own, reasons. But this 4 of Swords tells me you had a monumental 3 of Swords moment here in your life in the last year. We have 2 10 of Sword cards on the table. There's something here about the conflict, the strife, the grief, the tension, the bickering, the losses, the acts of betrayal, or the moments this year that you were in complete and total crisis, whether that was financial or emotional or spiritual or otherwise. There's something here about now you can see things a lot clearer than you did in the past. It's almost like, and I think I said this in one of your readings like 6 or 7 months ago. I said, I think the Cancerian collective was sort of being squeezed by the universe to become a little bit harder, a little bit more rigid, a little bit more bold. Now, that's not to say that you deserve the experiences that you went through, but I think that if you looked at them, Queen of Swords, looked at those experiences from that perspective, not that it would make it easier, but there would be more understanding, more clarity, right? In that Queen of Swords energy to say, I didn't ask for these things to happen to me, but I can see how they've made me stronger. Sort of taking you from the Queen of Cups to the Queen of Wands. So a little bit forging of the Cancerian collective through fire is what I feel happened this year. Stepping from Queen of Cups to Queen of Wands, and I don't read body parts. If you're a member, you probably have seen my readings before. I only read energy. This is the movement towards adventure that I think, had you not encountered all of these losses and betrayals and disagreements and all the chaos and conflict, you probably would not be at this stage. You probably would not be as ready to pivot or move in a new direction. So it's almost like, again, not saying that the losses were necessary or so-and-so had to pass away or you deserve to leave your job. No, it's just having a fresh new take or approach when you're looking at 2025 and saying, okay, I maybe don't understand exactly why I had to go through all of those things and experience those losses, but I can see very clearly how they have changed me or how they have shaped me or even shaped my personality or now my desire to move forward. You have the Nine of Wands here, clarified by the Six of Swords, the Ace of Swords, and the Eight of Wands. And this is what I'm talking about. This feeling wounded, feeling like you were about to give up. You probably had several moments in 2025, maybe even 2024, where life brought you to your knees, but you didn't give up. You didn't, you didn't call it a day. You persevered. And that, I feel those experiences, I don't know, I'm getting this feeling here like it helped create a fire within you that probably did not exist beforehand. A fire now to want to move forward, seeing the things clearly, understanding life a little bit better, or maybe even your life's journey. I feel like 2026 will be a lot easier for you. And it depends how you decide to pivot and move. You can sit in that Four of Swords for an entire year and continue to grieve or sulk your experiences and your losses. Or you can see that they were part of your life's plan, part of your life's journey. And now you can take those experiences and move in a direction that you probably would have never thought of moving in 1, 2, possibly 3 years ago. So there's something here about you being really proud of yourself with that last quarter moon in Taurus, being really proud of yourself, because again, I go back to Queen of Cups is a beautiful energy, right? For me, the Queen of Cups, whether you're masculine or feminine, could be King of Cups, is the most intuitive queen or king in tarot. It's someone who is secure, they're calm, they're emotionally balanced, but they're soft. That's what makes them compassionate. That's what makes them a bit intuitive, right? But they're not, it's not the energy of someone who is a risk taker. And so I feel like in order to take your Queen of Cups and mold it into the Queen of Wands, which appears to what has occurred here for you in the last year, it required radical shift and change. Knight of Wands to the Tower. Sudden change, sudden action, sudden impulsiveness, sudden disaster, sudden upheaval. Now create a momentum in the Cancerian collective that shifts towards sudden action, sudden impulsiveness, wanting to move forward, no longer wanting to sit in the Four of Swords. Now, again, you have the divine gift of free will, you could, but the energy here is kind of gaining momentum, if you will, to move you in another direction. And I think it was because of these series of towers that you experienced in the last year. Now you are grounded. Now you're independent. Now you know your worth. Now you know your strength. I think you were always a strong person, but I don't think you recognized how strong you were until 2025 came through. And so now we have the Knight of Cups here, being clarified by the Eight of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Eight of Pentacles. There's something here like maybe you can't see it now. Maybe that's the purpose of this reading. I noticed just as I said that, I looked at the Nine of Swords and the person's covering their eyes with their hands. So maybe there's that feeling like, well, maybe you can't see it right now, but this was part of your spiritual development. I think Knight of Cups shows up here. And then we go to the Knight of Pentacles with that Queen of Wands. So the energy here, I feel, is like, it's like I don't want to say your compassion was reduced, but it's kind of like what you went through. The universe took you from Queen of Cups to Knight of Cups. It took you down one level, because I think so many of you were incredibly strong empaths, too compassionate, too overgiving, and it cost you. Like, I feel like it cost you your peace. I think it put you in situations, environments, or connections that were unnecessary. And by that, what I mean is, when we're very good natured, but we are not in tune with our intuition, we tend to fall for all of that. And again, I'm not blaming you for it. I just feel like the universe here is saying, we had to teach you how to put a lid on that cup. In most tarot decks that I have, the Queen of Cups is sitting with that chalice, which is the Ace of Cups. It's all of the abundant, unconditional love, right? Wrapped up in that chalice. But it has a lid on it. Most cards show it with a lid on it. The deck I use for you, and even in the clarifying deck, does not. And so I think that's pretty symbolic on how you allowed, knowingly or unknowingly, people to just take. And you gave freely, because that's the compassionate person that you are. But I think you got to a point where your well was going dry there. I don't think a lot of people were replenishing your cup, but clearly from what you've gone through, they were not. They were taking. And so it's almost like the universe says, okay, all of this had to come in to teach you to be a little bit more discerning and a little bit more in touch or in tune with your intuition, so you can be more careful moving forward. It's not telling you not to love others unconditionally, but it is teaching you that you have to love yourself first. And so it's like, okay, Cancer, you went through all of this. You were squeezed through the difficulties here of life, forged through fire. Your heart is intact, but now you're a little bit more discerning. And now you are bold and brave enough to face your fears and move in another direction. There's impulsivity there with the Queen of Wands, but there's methodical, cautious, careful impulsivity there, clarified by the Knight of Pentacles. So I feel like it's time for the Cancer Collective, or at least that's your message here, to start to move forward, or at least create a strategic plan to move forward, to get out of your shell a little bit more, to not miss opportunities that maybe in the past you would have missed because you put other people's needs or wants or concerns or desires ahead of your own. I feel like what 2025 has shown you in some way is that you can care for others and love for others and tend to others, but you need to do all of that for yourself first. So there's definitely something here about now being able to face your fears and move in another direction. Heart still intact, but a little bit more discerning. Page of Cups, clarified by the Ace of Wands. There's that bold new adventure, the Moon card, and the Page of Cups. I feel with the two Page of Cup cards here that there's a new offer opportunity coming in. We're also clarifying that Ace of Wands, and we're going to go a little deeper on this message for you. I feel like you can't see it coming yet, this new opportunity. It will require you to get a little bit out of your comfort zone and be bold and brave. It's kind of like it's here for the taking. It's here for the taking. It's an opportunity you probably would not have taken 1, 2, 3 years ago. Okay. Let's clarify. Let's use your deck to clarify. What is this opportunity? Now, this could be love related for those of you who are single and desiring. For others of you, this is a new creative adventure, the ability to start your own business. I usually see the King and Queen of Wands as entrepreneurs, business builders, visionaries, inventors. So it could be something like that here, creating your own business, your own startup company. It could also be learning something new, whether that's a do-it-yourself home renovation project you want to do or a makeover. It could be learning something new, whether that's an instrument or tarot or something else that has been of interest to you. It's definitely inspirational in nature. And for some of you, this could even be just like changing the way you look. In terms of doing your hair differently, or updating your wardrobe, or maybe eating better, or implementing some kind of diet regimen. So for some of you, I hate using the term glow up, but it could be a glow up in the sense of you now nurturing yourself a little bit as well. I just see an opportunity here coming. 5 of Wands to the Knight of Pentacles. 5 of Wands to the Knight of Pentacles. in the past, you probably would not have done this. Now it looks like it is coming in. Okay. Tell me more about this opportunity. What is this new opportunity? And again, it could be in career and finance, love and romance, or like I said, a passion project, something you want to learn, go back to school, or maybe even just nurturing yourself in a different way, in a way that's maybe more exciting for you. Tell me more about this opportunity here. Thank you. The opportunity, the High Priestess, the Five of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups, bottom of deck, Page of Pentacles. This opportunity, Four of Wands to the World card. There's an opportunity here that opens up a world of possibilities for you. Some type of dream or wish or goal you've had that sort of has been put on a shelf, almost like in fantasy land. And this could be like wanting to travel or relocate, or like I said, learn something new or start up your own business. It's kind of like you put it on a shelf there for a while because you were dealing with all of this or taking care of all of these people and handling all of these circumstances and grieving losses and dealing with betrayal for some of you. It's almost like now this is allowed to come in. It's intended to pull you out of the energy of the Five of Pentacles, which could be financial lack. So maybe this is a financial opportunity, or to create your own financial abundance, right? To be an entrepreneur or a business owner, or maybe take a current business model that you have and change it up or modify it in some new creative way. For others of you, this could be love related, especially for those of you where you're alone or you felt ghosted or abandoned by someone, or you feel lonely. Maybe for some of you, someone passed away with the 2 Ten of Sword cards there. Okay, tell me more about this opportunity here. Or I feel opportunities. I mean, we have 2 Page of Cups there. So I feel like this is more like multiple opportunities coming in. Tell me more about these opportunities here for the Cancerian collective. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Seven of Swords, the Devil, and Temperance. Bottom of the deck, 3 of Swords. Knight of Pentacles shows itself again, and Judgment. The new opportunities. The new opportunities are intended to bring peace, balance, healing to your life, to eradicate some mindset that you had, that you couldn't do something or go somewhere or learn something. There's a healing quality here. So this new opportunity could be for you to address some type of toxic pattern that perhaps you've had. Maybe even cure or heal an addiction. That Devil card could be a lot of different things. It could be hoarding. It could be overeating, overanalyzing, right? With that 8 of Swords, 9 of Swords. We're going to go a little deeper on this now. Temperance. This is Archangel Michael bringing in several opportunities here for you to address or to heal from or move on from. The 7 of Swords to the Devil, which is highly manipulative energy, which is what many of you have encountered here, whether that was of your own doing or you were a victim of it. Tell me more about this opportunity that Archangel Michael is bringing in for the Cancer collective. This could be addiction to spending, addiction to drugs, addiction to an unhealthy person, a codependency. This could also be opportunities to help you heal, help you heal fears, doubts, insecurities you have about starting your own business or learning something new or getting back out there to meet someone new. For those of you who are single and interested, this is definitely like angelic support. So multiple opportunities. We're going to take that Page of Wands. 10 of Cups, 7 of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. Multiple opportunities coming your way that are intended for you to discover your happiness, long-term sustainable happiness, not quick fixes. Oh, this is interesting. 6 of Pentacles, not quick fixes. So maybe I'm speaking to a group of Cancerians that because of what you've gone through, and it looks like a lot, okay? A lot of change in your life. it could be for some of you that because of that, you indulged or overindulged in other things to numb the pain, soothe the pain, handle the losses, or that you encountered here. So maybe for some of you, you turn to addictive shopping. And no shame there, because I can tell you that there's been times in my life where there are Amazon boxes that I take a month or two to get to in my past. So I know what that's all about. And because it feels good in the moment, right? It's a temporary, oh, I feel great. I was able to buy myself ABC. And then it sits around for 3 weeks. I don't even open up the box. It really had nothing to do with the actual item. Then when I look at it from a healed perspective, it's like, oh, I was just buying that because I was going through an emotional crisis, and it made me feel good to spend some money on myself. But it was a short-term win, a short-term gain, which in the end actually, affected me financially in a negative way. So I feel like for what you've gone through, some of you maybe got into some kind of addictive quality there, like over shopping, overeating, over analyzing. Maybe some new doubts, fears, and insecurities crept into the Cancerian collective, and they soothe it with other things, over drinking, maybe drugs, even isolation. Believe it or not, can be something we become addicted to, not talking to anyone. And it's one thing to go into hermit mode to do some soul searching. It's another thing to want to close off the world because we're so traumatized by what we went through that we just don't trust humanity to want to connect to others. And that's unhealthy as well. So I feel like there is an unhealthy coping mechanism here in the Cancerian collective because of what they've gone through. And now there will be some new opportunities coming in that will help you heal those addictive qualities and really move you towards a path of sustainable happiness, not short-term happiness from drinking something, eating something, buying something, or excessively thinking negatively about something or even about yourself. Can I get 3 cards on that Page of Wands? Because the Page of Wands is holding the Ace of Wands. So it's like we just went full circle on this message. All right, tell me about that Page of Wands. This is the minor arcana card to the full card for me. This is discovering something before we're ready to take the full leap of faith. Tell me more about that Page of Wands here. One more shuffle. Thank you. 8 of Swords, getting out of that, the Hanged Man, and the 2 of Pentacles, bottom of the deck, the Star, the 6 of Wands, and we go right back to another page. I want to get a little bit more on this for you because I'm going to use the Sagittarius deck since this is the new moon in Sagittarius reading. I just kind of feel like the message keeps repeating and I don't want to waste a lot of your time. There are multiple opportunities coming in to pull the Cancerian collective out of this repetitive cycle where they were doing something detrimental to themselves to soothe or heal themselves from past pain or past trauma. This is almost like divine intervention saying, okay, you've gone through this, you've been forged through fire. We're bringing in some new opportunities here for you so you can face your fears and move towards these new things to grow and expand the Cancerian collective and to move you away from temporary happiness by engaging in this activity and move you towards more sustainable happiness through like healthier methods. I'll get you timing on this also. Tell me a little bit more about that Ace of Wands here, please. New moon in Sagittarius. Tell me more about the Ace of Wands. One more shuffle here. Thank you. 6 of Wands. Again, this is victory. This is success. This is success after the loss, after the conflict, after the tension, after the strife. So after the 5 Wands, we move to the 6 of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is intended to make you feel, not make you feel, no, is intended for you to claim victory over that in a different way, in a more healed way, or through a more healed endeavor than maybe what you were doing. Tell me more about that Ace of Wands here for the new moon in Sagittarius message for Cancer. One more shuffle. Thank you. 6 of Wands, 3 of Wands, which is the Sun in Aries. So moving forward in a new adventure away from that devil which we've now seen twice in your reading, the World card, putting an end to that. I really feel King of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, Two of Pentacles here at the bottom of the deck to the Tower. I don't want you to be offended by this message, but I can't sugarcoat this either. I don't know when this happened for you. I think for a lot of you it happened in 2025, but that doesn't have to be the case. This could be a series of events that have culminated over the course of the last couple of years here. Oh, the Hierophant card fell out. When did that fall out? Interesting. Two Hierophant cards. So I almost feel like, let me go back to that original message. What you've gone through here, whether it was all took place in 2025 or like I was saying, over the course of several years, I feel like the Cancerian collective turned to temporary coping mechanisms. Now, this could even be like overworking, not wanting to deal with that pain, not wanting to heal the pain, and throwing yourself in some endeavor, which is wonderful and great, but not if it's costing you your sleep or your peace, or there's not a good balance in your life. So I just feel like this is specifically for those of you where you've turned to doing something in excess or engaging in something in excess. And again, could be hermit mode, just shutting yourself off from the world. I remember I had worked in the city as an accounts payable auditor during 9/11. And obviously, I lost many of my clients in the Trade Center bombings. However, I remember after that, probably 6 to 8 months after that, the contract had closed up for me. I did not want to renew it. It came to an end with my employer. I did not want to, I didn't want to re-up it. I couldn't fathom going back into the city. I had tried doing that. I started working more and more remotely from home. I just, at that point, even had a fear of just driving over the George Washington Bridge. If you've ever commuted on that bridge at 6 o'clock in the morning to go from New Jersey to New York City, I mean, you could be sitting on that bridge for 30 minutes. And I was always like, always having anxiety attacks sitting on that bridge. Like, is this the day they're going to blow up the bridge? And I happen to be on it. So that was just a feeling that I had. It was just a lot of fear in all around the world. But I mean, especially here where we had been so affected by it. So commuting in and out of the city for me personally was incredibly difficult. And then continuing to work with people who had survived it and people who were still mourning the loss of coworkers, it just was a lot. And I decided not to do it anymore. And after that, it was probably over the course of a year or two, my world became so small that I was afraid to leave my house. And it was the first time I had even heard the word agoraphobic. I didn't even know what that was. And then I realized I was insulating myself from not wanting to experience that, didn't even want to deal with what happened, and started getting into web design and marketing and launched my own creative endeavor. It was great. And I put, 18-hour work days in, working from my house, launching this new business. And it was great and all in that respect. But boy, did I shut my world off. And yeah, that was a very toxic way for me to cope with loss, for me to cope with anxiety, for me to cope with the changing world, for me to cope with what I had gone through. And so what ended up happening was 2 or 3 years later, my husband at the time, I'm divorced now, but my husband at the time had an opportunity to increase his presence in the company he worked for. And they kind of wanted to make it a package deal, since the woman who was the owner or whatever handled their accounting, but they wanted a package deal. They were like, okay, well, if you're going to handle this, then we'd like your wife to come in and handle the book side, the accounting side, because it was a husband and wife retiring. And they just thought it would be great if another husband and wife kind of came in and did the two roles. And he had worked for them forever, 15 years at that point. So they fully trusted him with it. And that's what got me out of my shell. It could be something like that. I think some of you made your world very small. And I mean, I got to a point where I didn't even want to leave the house to go just walk down the little sidewalk from my front door. It wasn't even a sidewalk, a pathway from my front door to the mailbox to get the mail. I literally became a shut-in. I had one friend and they would come see me. I hardly ever left my house to go see them. It was a really bad 2 years for me. I did not recognize myself in that time. Not I don't mean physically. I mean who I became during that time, how I allowed fear from what I had gone through to mold and shape me into someone I didn't recognize. I mean, before that, I was an extrovert, and I became worse than just an introvert. I didn't even want to leave my house to get the mail, 50 feet away from my front door. Or 30 feet away from my front door. So there's something like that here that has happened where for a lot of you, what you've gone through, you have turned to a safe zone that created temporary safety or a temporary safety net or temporary contentment or temporary happiness, but it actually has become toxic to you or some type of addictive pattern to you. And this new opportunity that comes in is intended to help push you forward out of your comfort zone, redirect your focus onto something new or exciting, something that will have long-lasting, meaningful impact to your life and will help you close the door on this toxicity that you kind of entrapped yourself into as a way to relieve the pressure or relieve the sorrow or relieve the distress that was brought on because of what you've gone through. I hope that made sense for someone watching. So let's get you timing here. Timing on these new opportunities. Yeah, it's time to shut the door on this. Not every card in tarot is timing. If I have to use the timing deck, I'll do that. But can I have some timing, please, on when these new opportunities will begin to present themselves? This is also a new moon in Sagittarius, which is a fire sign, right? It is that Queen of Wands. That is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. So you could also call in for these new opportunities. New weight loss program, new friends, new creative endeavor, just maybe for the courage or strength to leave your house. Whatever it is that you need to get you out of this and towards something more sustainable for you in terms of happiness, a little bit more expansive in terms of your soul's growth, I would call that in, because some of you have unknowingly put yourselves in this. And again, I feel like it was a soothing way, like a self-soothing way to deal with what you've gone through. So can we get timing on all of these various opportunities coming in? Timing. One more shuffle. Thank you. Timing. Page of Cups within a month. And that's the third Page of Cups here on the table. So within a month, you have the Emperor, the Eight of Pentacles. Look at that. That's Seven of Swords. There's a new opportunity. Excuse me. And we have the Four of Cups again. Don't miss the opportunity. Four of Cups, Queen of Cups, Page of Pentacles again. I wouldn't miss out on this opportunity. It could be a little scary. Maybe you're invited to go to a party. I mean, it could just be something like that. Go. I would say go. Obviously be careful, right? Use your intuition. You're a highly intuitive sign, but go. It could be a chance to get you out of the house or meet some new people or maybe just one new person. I feel like this new opportunity pulls you out of this. It could be someone asking you out on a date. Go. It might not end up being the person that you spend the rest of your life with, but it'll get you out of a comfort zone. It'll allow you to enjoy life just a little bit more or to remember what living is really all about. Within the next month, Cancer, you have new opportunities to get out of your shell, to learn something new, to go somewhere, to meet some new people. I wouldn't say no. I would face your fears. I wouldn't say, no, I'm not doing this. Seven of Wands, Ace of Cups, Knight of Cups again. I wouldn't block this opportunity. The Four of Cups is here twice, like not interested. The Seven of Wands, the Ace of Cups, not interested. There's an Ace of Cups coming to you. Again, that new opportunity, something that will really nurture your soul, that will be beneficial to you. And it could just be someone asking you to go to a holiday party or to help do them something, or maybe even just like, hey, can you bring me to the doctor? Or my car broke down. You think you could take me to the store? If you're asked by anyone to do something, again, someone you know, someone you trust, okay? I'm not telling you to do anything foolish here, but I feel like it's intended to get you out of a comfort zone. Now, I don't know why I just got this message, but for some of you, you could receive an offer from someone to help you clean your house or straighten up your house. I don't know if someone watching is maybe a little bit of a pack rat or a hoarder. So you could have something like that where a friend or family member is intervening and wanting to help you with something. You could even be asked by someone, hey, I wanted to start going walking or going out for walks, but I don't want to go alone. Do you want to come with me? There's some kind of invitation like that to build camaraderie, to get you out of your comfort zone. Who is this person who's coming in? Tell me more about this person. For some of you, it's someone you know. And for others of you, it's someone that you don't know too well. Like it could be a coworker that, you know, you say the hi and the good morning to, but you don't really know. Suddenly they ask you out to lunch. I would go. I feel like it's an invitation with all of these pages. This seems to be a small invitation asking you to go somewhere, do something, join somebody in something that they're doing, some creative endeavor they're doing. I would go. I feel like you're meeting someone or meeting other people. And again, it's to give you an experience to help get you out of this rut that you've been in. Tell me more about the person inviting Cancer. Tell me more about this person. Oh, we're going long on this message. The other signs will be upset. Sorry. Tell me more about the person who's giving this invitation. One more shuffle here. Thank you. More about the person. 8 of Wands, 8 of Wands, 8 of Wands. 3 times. So maybe within the next 8 days for some of you. 8 of Wands. Page of Swords. Another page. Wheel of Fortune. It's, look, divine timing. I don't know what this is for you. You're being invited. This could be someone asking you to join a community group, church service. This could be a new financial opportunity. I feel like this is coming in fast. I'm going to scratch that. Not financial opportunity. This is small. This is small offer. Do you want to go out to lunch? Can you come hang out? Can I come see you? Do you want to exchange phone numbers? This is, can I help you with that? I've always wanted to go walking, but I don't want to go alone. Can you come with me? It's like someone is asking you to join them in something they're doing or something that they want to do. And then for another group of you, this is someone asking if they can help you do something in your house. Like I said, organize your house or even invite you to some kind of gathering. Got a lot of people cards here. So I would keep your eyes and ears open for these invitations. I would heavily consider them. I would not say no to them. Again, make sure you can afford them. If it's something that you have to pay for, make sure you trust the people, not that you're blindly going to some, party you see advertised on the internet. But if you are invited to go somewhere or to engage in something with someone that you know, and your intuition says to do it, I would do it. I wouldn't block the opportunity. You have the Lovers. There you go. Archangel Michael and that 7 of Swords again. I don't know what this is for you. I feel like literally Archangel Michael is bringing you person or people to invite you to get out of your shell or to do something, to break you out of some cycle or pattern that you've been doing that you have been engaging in as a coping mechanism for, in order to deal with the losses and trauma that you've dealt with. So when these opportunities come in, don't pass them by. That is your new moon in Sagittarius message, Cancer. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you can. And once again, I thank you for being a time traveler. Until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace.